I never thought I'd be the guy telling a story like this. If you'd asked me 2 years ago, I would have said my girlfriend and I were solid, grown-up, drama-free. The couple our friends came to for advice. We met at a trivia night through mutuals, and from the first round we just clicked. Same humor, same taste in old movies, same love for late-night street food. Her name was Lena. Smart, confident, a little sarcastic in the best way. I fell for her hard and fast. For 3 years we built a life together. Road trips, holidays with each other's families, lazy Sundays watching bad TV. She'd talk about how she couldn't wait to get a dog once we moved in together. I was saving for that apartment, planning the proposal in my head. Things were easy until they weren't. It started small, the kind of stuff you only notice when you look back. She started staying late at work more often. New perfume I hadn't seen before. Her phone never left her hand. She'd flip it face down whenever a notification popped up. I remember asking once, half joking, "Who's blowing up your phone, secret agent?" She laughed, said it was just work, and changed the subject. I wanted to believe her, so I did. That's what love does. It turns off your critical thinking. The night everything fell apart is burned into my memory. It was a Friday. I'd finished a long week at work and picked up her favorite Thai takeout. She'd said she had a girls' night, but I figured I'd swing by her place first, drop the food off, maybe get a hug before she left. Her car was out front. Lights on. I walked up, knocked, no answer. The door wasn't locked. I stepped inside, quiet except for music coming from her bedroom. I called her name. Silence. Then laughter. Hers, and a man's voice. My stomach just dropped. I froze in the hallway, listening to her giggle. Every instinct said leave, but I pushed the door open anyway. There they were, not even bothering to hide it. She screamed my name like I was the one who'd done something wrong. The guy scrambled to pull on his shirt. I remember setting the bag of takeout down on the dresser because my hand was shaking too badly to hold it. I didn't yell, didn't cry. I just looked at her and said, "Guess you weren't that busy with work after all." She started stammering, "It's not what it looks like. I was going to tell you." It didn't mean anything. The usual greatest hits. I just nodded, said, "Save it," and walked out. I sat in my car for a long time, watching the light from her window flicker. Everything inside me felt hollow. 3 years, gone in one moment. That night, I blocked her everywhere. No dramatic goodbye, no late-night messages. Just silence. The first few days after it happened were a blur. It's strange how quiet the world feels after a breakup you didn't see coming. I'd wake up expecting a good morning text, only to remember she wasn't there anymore. My phone stayed silent, except for the occasional "You okay?" from friends who'd heard through the grapevine. I kept thinking maybe I'd explode, maybe I'd get drunk and send her a paragraph-long text about how she ruined everything. But I didn't. I just stopped. Work, gym, home, sleep. Repeat. My body was on autopilot while my brain played reruns of that night. A week later, she showed up at my apartment. I recognized a knock immediately. 3 quick taps, one pause, then another. The same rhythm she used when she forgot her keys. When I opened the door, she looked different. No makeup, hair tied back, eyes red like she'd been crying for days. "Can we talk?" she asked. I should have slammed the door, but curiosity won. I stepped aside. She started rambling, talking fast, about stress at work, about feeling insecure, about how the guy meant nothing. She called it a mistake, like she'd spilled coffee on my shirt instead of blowing up our relationship. "I just need you to understand," she said. I wasn't happy with myself, and I took it out on us. I remember staring at her, thinking how ridiculous it was that she thought an apology could rewind everything. "You cheated, Lena," I said. "You don't get to call that a mistake. You made a decision." Tears streamed down her face. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. "I love you," she said. "No," I told her. "You love what I did for you. You love having someone who forgives you before you even ask." That was the first time I saw real panic in her eyes. She realized I wasn't going to play the part of the forgiving boyfriend. She tried again a few days later. Texts from unknown numbers, emails, even a handwritten letter slipped under my door. The letter said she was ready to work on us, that every couple goes through rough patches. I almost laughed. Rough patch. I ignored everything. But she didn't stop. She started messaging my friends, asking them to put in a good word, saying I was just hurt and needed time. One even called to ask if I'd reconsider, like it was a business deal. I told them all the same thing. It's done. The weirdest part was how peaceful I felt once I made that decision. No more wondering, no more second guessing. Just quiet. Until, of course, the quiet didn't last. Because a month later, when I was finally starting to feel normal again, she decided it wasn't over. It was a Sunday afternoon when she reappeared in my life, like a ghost that refused to stay buried. I just come back from playing basketball with friends, exhausted, but in a good mood. My phone buzzed, a message request on Instagram from new account. The username? Something random, but the profile picture was her. Hey, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but please read this. I shouldn't have opened it, but curiosity is a dangerous thing. The message went on for paragraphs. She talked about how she'd done a lot of reflecting, how the guy was just a mistake, and how she'd finally realized what I meant to her. I know I don't deserve another chance, but I can't stop thinking about you. I miss us. I miss you. I stared at it for a long time, then closed the app. No reply. A week later, I saw her in person. Total coincidence, or so I thought. I was at the grocery store, halfway through the cereal aisle, when she came around the corner. She froze, then smiled like she'd been waiting for this moment. Derek, she said softly, like we were still together. Wow, it's been a while. I just nodded. Yeah, it has. She started making small talk, asking about work, about my family, about my dog. I answered with one-word replies, trying to keep it polite but distant. Then she hit me with, we should catch up sometime. Maybe dinner. I almost laughed out loud. You think we're going to dinner? Her smile faded. I'm trying to make things right. Then start by leaving me alone, I said, pushing my cart past her. I thought that would be the end of it. But no. Over the next month, she started showing up everywhere. My gym, my coffee shop, even the park where I ran on weekends. Always coincidentally. Once she waved from across the street and shouted, "Funny seeing you here," like it wasn't completely planned. Friends started noticing too. One of them said, "Bro, I think she's low-key following you." I shrugged it off, but deep down I knew he was right. Then came the guilt trips. She texted from another number. "I'm sorry I hurt you. I don't sleep anymore. You're all I think about." I didn't respond. So she upped the emotional pressure. "I can't believe you're being this cold. After everything we had." Then the anger. "You're really going to let one mistake erase everything? I thought you were better than that." That one made me laugh. I was cold for not forgiving her cheating, but she wasn't wrong for doing it. The mental gymnastics were Olympic level. It kept escalating. She started messaging mutual friends about me, posting cryptic Instagram stories like, "Some people throw away real love for their ego, or he'll realize what he lost." It was honestly pathetic. But the breaking point came 2 months later. I was at a local bar with some coworkers when one of them nudged me. "Dude, isn't that your ex?" I turned, and there she was, at the other end of the bar, pretending not to see me. She waited until I stood up to leave, then followed me outside. "Can we please talk?" she said, blocking my path. "Just 5 minutes." "You've had 5 minutes," I said. "You used them to cheat." Tears welled up instantly. "I know I messed up, but you can't just erase 3 years like they meant nothing." "Funny," I said. "That's exactly what you did." She grabbed my arm. "Please, just say you forgive me." I pulled away. Forgiveness isn't the same as taking you back. I've already moved on. Her face twisted. Moved on? With who? That's when I realized she didn't want me back because she loved me. She wanted me back because I wasn't chasing her anymore. It was about control. The power she lost when I walked away. I didn't give it back. I walked to my car, got in, and drove off without another word. That night, I blocked every new number she'd used. But something told me this wasn't over. And I was right. Because when she realized she couldn't win me back with guilt or charm, she tried something much darker. After that night at the bar, I thought she'd finally let go. But I was wrong. About a week later, one of my friends called me out of nowhere. "Hey man, just wanted to give you a heads up. Lena's been posting some weird stuff online." I asked what he meant. "She's not saying your name, but it's obvious. Stuff like, funny how some people pretend to be loyal when they're the real cheaters." She's flipping the story, bro. My stomach dropped. I opened Instagram, and sure enough, there it was. subtle but intentional. Posts about betrayal, fake people, and getting played. Some mutual friends even messaged me, confused, asking what happened. I didn't bother explaining. I just said, believe what you want. I wasn't going to argue with someone who was rewriting history just to make herself look better. But that's when the karma started kicking in. Apparently, the guy she cheated with had found out about everything. Me, her attempts to get me back, even the fake posts. He reached out to one of my friends and said, "Man, I didn't even know she had a boyfriend when we hooked up." She told me they were done. A week later, he dumped her. Publicly. Deleted all their photos and posted a quote that said, "Some lessons hurt, but they teach you who to never trust again." It was like watching the universe press play on instant karma. After that, her posts started changing. The confidence disappeared. She started sharing sad quotes like, "Sometimes the right person comes at the wrong time," or "You don't realize what you have until it's gone." And you know what? I didn't feel angry anymore. Just done. I'd already moved on, mentally and emotionally. I started focusing on myself again. Got back into shape. Spent more time with friends. Even started talking to someone new, a woman who was kind, grounded, and actually meant what she said. That's when Lena reached out one last time. It was a short message this time. "I know I messed everything up. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for real this time. I hope you're happy." For the first time, I didn't feel that old sting. I didn't feel the urge to reply or the need for revenge. I just felt free. So I left it on scene. A few months later, I heard she moved to another city. Someone told me she was trying to start over. And honestly, I hope she does. Not for her sake, but because I learned something through all this. Closure doesn't come from hearing sorry. It comes from choosing peace when chaos wants attention. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't a comeback. It's indifference. And if there's one thing I learned after catching her cheating, it's this. You can't fix someone who's addicted to breaking things. You just let them go and move on. And that's how it all went down. Sometimes life gives you the closure you never asked for, just not in the way you expected. If you made it this far, you probably enjoy stories where karma does its thing. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us here on Revenge Stories TV, where every week we dive into real stories of betrayal, payback, and lessons learned the hard way. Because sometimes walking away is the best revenge.